Nice, nice, nice. All right, let's see this delay. Okay, test. Ten seconds. Okay, that's good. That is good for us, folks. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Hello, Zipcon, Charles, Unholy Embrace, Eris, Simon, another FPS player, the Austin Acid. Hello. Are there separate commanders or Rule Zero partners commanders? No, this is going to be separate commanders, but there's going to be a little bit of a twist here. You're essentially getting 2 for 1. If you want 2 commanders, that's great. I'm going to show you how to build 2 commanders, and then I'm going to show you how to swap between the 2 as just like an extra bonus. Which commander are we working on first? I think we're going to start with Verazol, because it's the newer one, so it's kind of fancier, I guess. Let's see how many combos we can fit into 100 bucks. We'll see. I'm not even sure how commander specific like the Verazol is. Currently midnight here at Hey, notification pop up. Well, thanks for joining, GG. If you need your sleep, you gotta get your sleep. I just a time catch fame. How bad is a chat delay today? It's only 10 seconds. I think it's only 10 seconds. And I'll actually get the chat popping up. Well, let's see if we can move it. That is not an ideal spot for that. Toggle position mode. Let's see where we want it. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's a good spot for it. Boom. Alrighty. He's blue-green, so he must be good. Exactly. If you're Simic, you gotta be decent, right? Donations when? I want to ask you silly things about Warhammer 40k and Godzilla. You don't need to donate to ask me. Waiting since yesterday's email. Oh. Okay. I don't know too much about 40k or Godzilla as franchises, so I won't be able to answer too much on either of those fronts. Are Monday streams going to become a normal thing? No. This is just a one-off thing. Somebody asked me after I did the video last week talking about how I do a commander sideboard. Somebody asked me if it would be possible to do a live breakdown on how I make a budget commander deck. So I thought it was a cool idea, and I decided, you know what? I'll take a Monday night and I'll get it done and see what the response is. So this is definitely a one-time thing. I stream regularly Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time every single week. I don't plan to do anything else regularly other than that streaming. Just that. So if you're expecting more Monday streams, unlikely. So are we destroying 90% of the budget on Ur, I suppose? Maybe it drops in price now that it gets banned. Who knows? What's up, Tomer? Love the budget builds. Thanks. Currently have 17 EDH decks built. Wow, that is quite the collection. Impressive. All right. So, what is the budget? Our budget tonight is going to be probably anywhere between $50 to $100. I think for what we're going to be shooting for today is going to be a $50 deck that I'll show you how I scale it up. And I think that'll be interesting. Hey, Summer, how do you feel about the Walking Dead Secret Lair? Definitely not a fan. I don't think making game pieces locked behind secret lairs is a good idea. I did speak to Richard about it, at least, and he did give like a different view on it. I know a lot of people would agree with me that we're people are a lot of people are angry about the idea of commander game pieces being locked behind secret layers. There's numerous reasons why that's an issue. That I feel it's an issue. First of all, the product is limited edition, right? They have a limited print run. You can only get them through the website, and it's particularly bad for international people too. Like, I'm in Canada. If I try to order like a secret layer that's worth like, $50 or something, my duties is going to be like 20% of whatever I just paid for that, on top of like the shipping fees and everything. So it's going to be prohibitively expensive for people who are not USA residents. And then like, yeah, the secondary market's going to be insane with it too. And it's just bad. The good news with the Walking Dead stuff is at least the two commanders that they showed so far are not like so insane that like I feel there's going to be an enormous demand for them. I think the Mardu one's pretty good. The Golgari one seems kind of weak, thankfully, but it does set a very scary precedent where future exclusive secret lair whatever stuff can be pushed to make them more desirable, to increase the profit rating on those. And I think that's going to be the next logical step, right? Like, if you sell a secret lair and you make X amount of money with it, then next year, when you have another secret lair product, you're going to want to have a higher profit margin on that, or else your shareholders are going to get upset. So I feel like the precedent is there, setting like some low power exclusive game pieces, and then next year, increasing the power level of these exclusive game pieces. But anyway, that is a rant for another time. I'm not going to go super much into it. I'm just biding some time until more people trickle in. So other questions. +1 counters, staples on Simic, kind of expensive. There are going to be some expensive game pieces or some expensive cards in our budget deck that we won't be able to run just due to the budget. So like if you were considering Doubling Season or the new enchantment from Jumpstart, those are all going to be kind of difficult to get. Let's forget the autocorrect. Avengers Secret Lair, 5-color broken Thanos. I mean, maybe, why not, right? Shipping to Hawaii for the layers are expensive too. Yeah, I could imagine. What's your favorite color combination? I like. Is my favorite color pairing? It's historically been like, for the majority of the time I've been playing Commander or playing Magic the Gathering for like decades. It's been Izzet, but I'm more drawn to like what a commander is doing than its particular colors. Non-Magic question, Tomer. I know you've played D&D. What is your favorite class? Sorcerer or Wizard? I like both quite a lot. Oh no, everything's scrolling so fast now. Okay, I'll have to check the other monitor then. Okay, a less controversial question. Do you think there will be a Kaldra reprint in Commander Legends, or an even better Kaldra legendary creature? I don't think so. When I mentioned to Gavin, it seems like it wasn't something that was on his radar, and something that I might have put on his radar. Like, he mentioned that my desire really, for Kaldra has been noted. And hopefully, if there is just like a general desire for Kaldra outside of just me, then maybe they'll bring in Kaldra at some point. I think that the most likely chance that we're going to see Kaldra again, at least like a successor to Kaldra, is eventually we're going to go to New Phyrexia, right? And Kaldra was like an icon of the original Mirrodin block. Like, if you actually looked at the original Mirrodin set, the three sets that come up make up the block, each icon is actually a piece of Kaldra. So the first one is like the Helm of Kaldra. The other one, I think Darksteel, is a Shield of Kaldra, and the other one is the Sword of Kaldra. So it's pretty iconic for the plane. So I'm assuming next time we go to the New Phyrexia, we'll probably see a Phyrexianized Kaldra, and that could be pretty sweet. Better Kaldra? Wouldn't that break Magic? I know. I don't know if maybe. I mean, after the last 2 years, we've seen Uro, we've seen 4-color Omnath. We keep seeing the pendulum being pushed further and further to the power side. So it could be that we one day even see a more powerful Cauldra. Good evening, Tomer. I was wondering about doing a partner deck for Kicker. So is there any good things I should probably include? I think it's more like for the partners. I'm not sure which ones off the top of my head which would support the Kicker theme the most. I guess you're looking for something that gives you some partners that give you some sort of like ramp or mana discount of some sort, or I don't know, something like that. Because Kicker spells can be expensive. Ooh, that was a big dinner. I know it won't happen, but in fact, Cauldra would be epic. Yeah, I like that. Didn't Cauldra die at Magnarch's hands in the novel? I don't know. I did read the novel. I think like Glissa killed Cauldra by like shooting like a moon through her or some nonsense. I don't know if the books are canon though. They weren't the highest of quality even when I was like 10. Tomer, do you use exact numbers to try and shoot for exact numbers of synergy cards versus stables? I will answer that question pretty elaborately quite soon. Obscure Commander Legend speculation. Anyone? My money's on Terashi. That's a Kamigawa. That's a Kamigawa spirit, right? It's like a mono white spirit. That could be cool. 5-color artifact Cauldra draws ramps on ETB. 4 or 5 keywords in effect. I'd be down. If they want to push Cauldra, I'm fine with it. I won't complain. What do you think about the new Maul of the Skyclaves? In Commander, it doesn't seem that great. It might be good in Standard or something. Apparently, a green sun was shot through Cauldra by Radix. Yeah, that's the one. The green sun erupted from the core or whatever, and the power of that shot through Cauldra, and it was nonsense. Don't read the books. They're bad. They're very bad. Hey Tomer, I'm working on a sort of Mad Max Alien Invasion set right now. My free time focusing on using cards in exile in weird ways. You think we'll ever see genres like that in Magic? Mad Max is the desert post-apocalyptic survival franchise, right? Is it? Am I getting it wrong? And then Alien Invasion is pretty different too. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a Mad Max style plane at some point. Alien Invasion, I think it kind of crosses the line too far into sci-fi that I don't think we'll get an Alien Invasion set. But I mean, we've already got an Alien Invasion sets. Like War of the Spark was essentially Bolas bringing a bunch of creatures from a different plane or a different dimension or whatever to Ravnica. So that is an Alien Invasion. I would say maybe the Eldrazi too are also not native to Zendikar. So we've gotten basically War of the Worlds. Yeah, post-apocalyptic Australia. I think we already got the Alien Invasion set, or as much as we'll get close to it. With like Battle for Zendikar is a good example, or Rise of the Eldrazi. All right. I believe the time has come to start, chat. So today, the reason I'm doing this stream is I want to show you my design process on building a budget commander deck from scratch. So I will show you how I do things, and hopefully in the process, that might be helpful for you in case you want to start designing budget commanders from scratch. I will show you how I, set up a budget commander, how I do the tuning, how I use a deck list, all these like generically useful things, and also all the resources I use. So hopefully that can help you either to build a deck from scratch, or if you just want to tune up a deck and you're not really sure where you where you can fix things. Or, for example, you have a deck list that you've brewed up, but you have, I don't know, like 120 cards in your list, and you don't know how to cut down to just 100 cards. So this guide will hopefully touch upon ways to solve all those issues. That is my goal, chat. And I did a Twitter poll at some point, was it like 2 days ago. And in that Twitter poll, I asked you all, what deck list would you like to see done on this special stream? And the winners of that poll were Verazol and Hallar Kicker. So I talked in a recent video about this idea that I have, that I'm building my own paper deck around Verazol, the Split Current, which is the latest Kicker Tribal Commander in Simic colors. And I'm going to actually build a 2-for-1 deck where I have a Verazol, the Split Current deck, and I also have a Hallar, the Fire Fletcher deck, which is the original first and other Kicker Tribal Commander, which is in Gruul colors. So they actually share a common color, green, and that's the primary color of both of the decks. And both of them care about Kicker. So there's a good overlap between the two. So what I want to do is kind of ambitious. For my own personal deck, I'm going to build a 2-for-1 deck. I'm going to build a deck with 3 sections to it. The first section will be a green core. These are going to be cards that are going to show up in both decks. So they're going to be all the ramp, all the green ramp, all the green interaction, all the green kicker cards are going to be in that section. And then I'm going to have a separate section for Hallar the Fire Fletcher, which will include the commander, mountains, all the lands, and all the red cards, and any specific card that I feel works particularly well in Hallar but not in Verazol. And then I will have a section for Verazol, which will be a blue section, so we'll have all the blue cards. It will have Verazol, the commander itself, and it will have any cards that I feel is particularly useful for Verazol, but not Hallar. So I'm going to have a 3-section deck, and that is pretty ambitious right now. We're going to be starting with Verazol, and I'm going to show you how I build the rest of it from there. But for now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be building a Verazol deck. So Verazol, we're going to say $50 is going to be our starting point for this. Tomer, why not just ask your playgroup if you can have them as partner commanders? I mean, you could. That is definitely something you could do. Another thing you can do is you can run Animar's Soul of Elements as your commander for your kicker deck. It's a 3-color commander. It's in all the 3 colors that you need to have Hallar and Verazol in your 99. And it's also quite useful for your kicker spells because it gives you a huge mana discount, at least to your creature spells with kicker. So there are options here, but the way I'm going to be doing it, I'm going to have a deck that is basically a 2-for-1. The reason I'm doing it is a couple reasons. First of all, I don't need to ask for permission if I want to do a partner deck. The second reason is that I just like the idea of having 2 decks in one in terms of variety, right? Like if you have both cards on the same deck, then you have the same 99. But this is going to be a little bit more ambitious. It's going to have maybe like 120 cards, and there's going to be some variety when I swap between the two. It's going to feel a little bit more different as decks. And the third reason is just because it's a cool idea, and I thought maybe I'll do something wild. Why not? No EDH rec use, ballsy. No, we're going to be using EDH rec. Don't you worry, we're going to be using a lot of sources for this one. Yeah, another one that is good, as codename JD points out, is Riku of Two Reflections. It works kind of similarly to Verazol in a way. It also gives you access to Timber colors, so you can run all the cards and kicking big spells for 2, and then copying them for 2 mana is pretty strong. So Riku of Two Reflections is another just really powerful and good way to run both the kicker commanders in the same deck. But that's not what we're going to be doing right now. We're going to be doing Verazol the Split Current. So there's going to be a couple ways that we're going to build this. So our goal... Our goal is Verazol The split current $50 mark, right? That is I haven't used this in a while. Okay. There we go. So that's our goal. There's a couple ways we can do this. So for people who are just interested, hey, how do I do a budget commander deck? How do I do a budget commander list of this deck in like 5 minutes? Well, there's a really easy way to do it. All you do is you go over to EDHREC. You type in Verazol or whatever commander you want. Oh, this is actually a little bit too recent, so it's going to be a little bit harder to do. But what you could do is once you go to Verazol, there's not a lot of deck lists right now. There's only 19, so the sample size is kind of small. But you could just go average deck. Average deck gives you a deck list that just takes the average of all the decks that have been submitted so far. You can copy it. Then you go over, you submit a deck. You paste it. You choose formats, Commander, Verazol. And that's a 1 minute Verazol. You save, boom. You have a 100 card deck list. This is the average deck list submission on EDHREC. Boom. The card, even the deck, it's not a budget deck, but it's super cheap. It's not incredibly expensive without even any budget restrictions. So that is number one. If you just want to have a quick deck on any commander that you're interested in, this is what you can do. You just go to EDHREC. You click on the average deck button. Boom, bang, bam, you're done. The newer commanders are not going to have too many deck lists unless they're super popular, like on Math Focus of Creation. But we can do the same thing with Hallar, for example, which has significantly more deck submissions. So not only is there an average deck, but there's also like further options like cheap, which if you're trying to build a budget deck, you can just sort by, arbitrarily cheap cards. And that's another way to do it. Same thing, if you just want a Hallar deck and you're just interested what the average is going to look like, you just press average deck. Boom, bang. You got an average deck. It's super simple, and it takes you about a minute to do. This is also a great way to just make sure that your deck is at least on the right track in terms of what cards it's running and what cards maybe it should be running. So that's one way of doing it. That's what I would call is like the 1 minute process, right? All you do is you go to EDHREC. You go to Commander, search Commander, click average deck. So that's it. Super, super easy. That's a 1 minute deck list. So the next step that you can do is if you want to build a deck in like budget commander deck in like, I don't know, 5 minutes, you can Google search. So let's say Hallar EDHREC, or not EDHREC. Why did I type EDHREC? Hallar EDHREC deck list. So we see Commander Quarters has already done it. That's a $50 list. All I would do is just like copy paste that. Or Jolt MTG also seems to have a Hallar deck. All of these are really great because if you make a full video on a deck, chances are you have at least passing knowledge of what the deck is doing, because you actually have to sit down and read out a bunch of cards at the very least. So any of these decks are easy peasy. You type them out, you find a video that's related to it, or you go to somewhere like the subreddit, and then boom, you're gonna find a bunch of lists. Like somebody always posts like, here's the version that I'm running. Easy, easy, easy. So 5 minutes, Google search, deck list, and easy peasy, you'll get some good stuff. But this is where we get in. This is the easy peasy way, quick and easy way. But this is a Tomer way, the Tomer method, aka crazy method. I'll show you my method, folks. I will show you my method. So step 1 is we're going to start with Verazol. We're going to submit a deck. I'm going to make a commander. And we're going to put in Verazol. And we're going to put our budget. We want a $50 budget. It's going to be super simple. So, all we got right now, we start with a blank canvas. We don't have EDH Rec. We don't have anything else. All we have is our card Verazol. So the first thing I do when I want to build a budget commander from scratch, I don't go to EDH Rec. I don't go Google searching. I go crazy. I look at the card and I see what is the card trying to do. So we have a 2-mana creature that has green, blue, and X. It's a serpent. It has a +1/+1 counter theme to it, and it supports specifically kicked spells. The main draw of running this card is copying kicked spells. That is what this card is all about. Pretty easy to kind of parse all that stuff. So what are we going to be looking for in this deck? Primarily speaking, we're going to be wanting to run a bunch of cards with Kicker, because the ones that we cast with Kicker, we're going to copy and then we're going to have a fun time with. The other thing we're looking for are ways to give Verazol +1/+1 counters. So that's going to be the next thing we're going to be trying to fill up with. We're going to find ways to add counters as efficiently as possible to Verazol, because then we can use those counters to copy kicked spells. So, can you zoom in a little bit? Boom. Hopefully that helps. So, we don't go to EDH Rec. We don't go to Google search. We go to my favorite site that I abuse like crazy, and that is Scryfall. So, when you go to Scryfall, you can type in any card. You can see which ones show up on my search engine pretty often. Let's do 200%. But what you want to do is you go to Scryfall and you go to Advanced Search. Advanced Search gives you a lot of options. The options that we care about right now, though, are going to be commander options, commander filtering. First, we select the color identity of our commander, which is going to be, Verazol is a Simic one, so we're going to be green and blue. And then, all we want to do, at least first of all, we want to have one more criteria. We want to make sure that this is legal in Commander. So we say legal in Commander. And the first thing we want to look for are kicker spells. So if you type kicker, you're going to find all the cards with kicker on them. We're going to look through all these cards. There's only 74 cards, so it's actually not that bad. And we're going to pick any card that is remotely good in our deck. We're going to just put in our list. Goshall is Scryfall, and the fact that it's sorted by EDH Rec rank. Yeah. CIUG is short for that. Yeah, that's true. You could do Commander UG or CI. I'm definitely not a pro at Scryfall, by the way. I use the old man options. So first thing we do is Scryfall. Scryfall relevant keywords. So which cards do we care about here? I'm going to say of these, I don't really care about any of them. Then on the second row, Blink of an Eye looks definitely really good. Whoop. Would it be better to search for kick instead of stuff because when you, yeah, that said, when you kick the spell, I'm going to search for kicked afterwards, actually. Because if you just look for the word kick, you're going to get a bunch of cards that are not relevant to what we're looking for. So, well, I mean, we could try it. I think we're going to get a bunch of cards that are not relevant to kicker. Or maybe not. Huh. I thought we would be getting a bunch of stuff that is not relevant. But you know what? This works too. Alright, we searched kick. So, first card that I like is Blink of an Eye. I put it in here. Second card, Bubble Snare. Not really. Maybe Citadel Wood Readers, but we're in blue, so we probably can do better, but... Coralhelm Chronicler, definitely good. Just opened a full art Verazol. Nice. Any thoughts of writing an article for different budget versions of this deck? Maybe. Maybe. One step at a time. Are you going to put it into the Royal, or if you're putting in Blink? Yeah. Crackplate, Bailout, we'll put it in, but I don't think it's going to be good enough. Cunning Geyser Mage, we'll put it in, but also I don't think it's good enough. We'll do culling. We'll do some cutting down soon enough. Elfhame Druid. Bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. Everflowing Chalice is good. Explosive Growth, probably not. Field of Research probably is. Huh. Maybe Gnarlid Colony. Yeah, Grow from the Ashes is coming up. Grow from the Ashes, definitely. Probably Grun the Lonely King. Hunting Grounds seems solid. Oh, sorry. Hunting Wilds. Inscription of Abundance are going to be one of the... They're going to be two of the best. Inscription of Insight. Into the Royal, definitely one of the best cards for the kicker deck. Jace Mirror Mage, yep. Jiraga Warcaller would be interesting if we had if we had other elves, but I don't think we're an elf deck. Lull Mage's Familiar looks cute. I don't know. I'll probably throw it in just as an option. I don't think it's good enough. Maddening Cacophony is very powerful by itself, but does it do anything for a deck? Probably not. A Merfolk Falconer could be interesting. Kind of expensive for what it does, but could be interesting. Might of Marasa? Maybe. Mold Shambler is very good. Marasa Sproutling, also very good. Myriad Construct, definitely very good. Oran Reef Recluse is conditional, but its ability is very powerful, so it might make the cut. Primal Growth is definitely very good. I think Prohibit's probably a little bit too conditional. Maybe Reclaim the Waste. Well, if you copy Maddening Cacophony, they mill half their library and then they mill half their library again. I'm not sure if that's worth it. There is definitely diminishing returns on that card. If I could like double its output, then that would be a lot better. If like I had Freeing Sanity. Ooh, Rite of Replication, probably the best card in our deck. Probably the best kick spell in our deck for sure. Roost of Drakes, also very good. This card is going to be a massive engine in our deck. Rushing River. We do have to sacrifice a land, but it could be decent. Saproling Infestation. Whenever a player pays a kicker cost, you may put a Saproling token in play. That's cute. I wouldn't mind that. It's a little bit of a token generator. Saproling Migration, probably not good enough. Seagate Stormcaller, definitely good. Twinning Staff is definitely going to be good too. We'll get to that though. Shell's Shield, I mean, it's relevant, but paying 2 mana for this ability is probably not good. Skyclave Relic, definitely good. Oh man, there's more kicker cards than I thought there would be. Alright, Slin Voda, definitely good. Spell Contortion. Draw a card for each time Spell Contortion was kicked. This is a little weird card. I feel like it's a little bit too expensive though. Sphinx of Lost Truce, why not? Tomer, should you use Forgotten Ancient and Hydra's Growth? I think so. We'll get to +1/+1 counters after this, though. First, we're going to do Kicked. Then we're going to look at any copy abilities that we're interested in abusing with Verazol. Then we're going to go at +1/+1 counters. And at that point, we should have just a pretty filled out deck. And we're just going to fill it out with good cards afterwards. That is the thought process. We're going to fill it out with good cards that are relevant to the deck. Then we're going to fill out the rest of the cards with good stuff. Strength of the Tejuru is probably the best, one of the best kicker cards in this deck. We don't care about this. Taunting, nope. Return an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Maybe. It's not a bad effect. It just costs way too much mana. Tempest Arrival, nope. Territorial Allosaurus. Thicket Elemental. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. You may put it onto the battlefield. This seems good. I mean, it's 7 mana, but it's not bad. It's a good effect. Thieving Skydiver, definitely one of the best. Throne of McKindy, definitely one of the best cards in the deck. Untamed, Kavoo, not relevant. Ooh, Vastwood Surge, yes. That's what I like. Do we care about the kicker of this? Maybe. Verdalot the Ancient. Vine Gecko. I mean, it does get big. Let's put in Vine Gecko. I think it's good enough. Vines of the Vastwood, definitely. It's looking like that's pretty much it. Maybe Wild Onslaught, but it seems a little bit too expensive. Wolfbriar Elemental is probably good enough too. All right. So here's what we got so far. Ooh, I spelled vines wrong. Vines of Vastwood. So here's what we got so far. We got we got one card that probably two cards that are going to be kind of expensive, and it's going to be hard to justify keeping them in the deck. I think Seagate Stormcaller is definitely a good one, but is it so good that we need to run it? Probably not. But we'll get to that part later. We'll get to the cuts later. So the first thing we want to do. So we're gonna do Verazol. So the first thing we did is we looked up kicker kicked cards. The next thing we want to do is +1/+1 counters. So we have all the kick cards that we care about. All the kicker related cards that we care about are in the deck at this point. The next thing we want to do is we want to look at +1/+1 counters, because Verazol also wants to have additional +1/+1 counters onto it, so that we can then use those counters to copy our kicked spells. So we type in +1/+1 counter, and this one is going to be a little bit harder. It's going to be a little bit harder to cut it down. We're going to sort by rarity and then see if there's anything here that really catches our attention. But right now, what we're looking for is we're not looking for random +1/+1 counters. We're looking for cards like Proliferate. We're looking for stuff that will put counters on Verazol specifically. So the more counters we can put on Verazol specifically, the better. And we have to make it efficient to do so. So, like a card like Avenger of Zendikar, I would love to throw into the deck. But if we type in Avenger of Zendikar, remember, we're trying to make it a $50 deck list. It's $8.45. Kind of expensive. Evoke Skate is probably cheap enough. Perhaps. So first we're looking at +1/+1 counters. Avenger of Zendikar probably is not going to make the cut. The Biogenic Ooze is probably not going to do it. Most of these don't really do it for me. Maybe Colonian Hydra, if it's cheap enough. Maybe Master Biomancer, if it's cheap enough. Ooh. The Great Henge. If the Great Henge was cheap enough. We'll see, though. Turn Timber Symbiosis, if it's cheap enough. Hardened Scales, definitely. We'll see. We shall see. All right, this is going to take a while, I think, to go through all of these. Unfortunately. Branching Evolution is definitely good. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. In the plus one counter category, but the problem is that a lot of them are just going to be out of our budget range. I dare say most of them will be out of our budget range that have been mentioned. Forgotten Ancient is, yeah, definitely a good one. I mean, Hadana's Climb is pretty interesting. This is a big one, though. Increasing Savagery is huge. Incubation Druid is huge. Simic Ascendancy. Is there a way to set a price limit? I mean, basically, I have a $50 price limit. Clearly, we're going above it on some stuff, but we're gonna fix that in the editing stage. Right now, we're just throwing ideas at the table. So, unfortunately, friends, going through all of these cards may be a little bit too long for what I intend in this video, but this is what I would literally be doing. There's 120 cards, or 534 cards, just that says +1/+1 counters on them. I would literally go through and suggest going through every single one and just scanning to see if there's anything in particular that pops up that seems good, and just taking them. But I have another cheat strategy for you all beyond doing this, and that is, where are you? Where are you, articles? How do I find myself real fast? Aha, there I am. All right, Budget Commander. When I do articles, sorry, wow, that voice. When I do articles, I do pretty thorough dissections of every single deck. So an easy way that I cheat is I actually go back to older articles that I do, and I try to find a commander that has a similar overlapping theme. So what I'll be doing here is, I know that Skullbriar is a green-black deck that has a +1/+1 counter theme to it. I'm just going to go open that up and see if there's anything I can steal from here that will make my life a little bit easier. And lo and behold, I did already all the legwork for all the at least green cards in terms of +1/+1 counters. So I can immediately go over here and then immediately start looking at what are the best +1/+1 counter cards that I've already researched in the past. And if you put your research between quotes and restrict it even further, the way you did it, you were searching for every card that has +1/+1 counter on it, and or counter in the text. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Maybe that's true. Okay. Let's give that a shot. Do you mean like at the beginning over here, if I do them in quotes like this? I mean, it's at least a few less than before. So step one, what I do. If I want to build a budget deck from scratch, the first thing I do is I go to Scryfall, and I just go to Scryfall and I type up relevant keywords that are related to the thing. So I typed in kicker, kick cards. We're doing +1/+1 counters as well. The other thing is I cheat. Man, I swear. Here we go. Oh. Okay. Okay, fine. Let me do it this way. Search up budget commander deck. Search similar. Search similar budget commander articles for ideas. So I searched similar budget commander articles for ideas because if you'll notice, basically all my articles have the full, like, just a full loadout because I literally went to Scryfall and I put all my notes down here. That's how I do it every single time. So counters, then lands. So if I'm looking for a Golgari deck, all I do is I go over here and I see which, like, what Golgari lands I've already put down for Skullbriar. Or if I'm looking for Golgari ramp, boom, everything that's relevant ramp for my Skullbriar deck. Maybe I can take cards from here, card draw options, removal, protection, recursion, tutors, and then deck building checklist and everything. So that's a really good resource. I am going to just plug myself, obviously. It's my stream. But that's definitely a resource that you can use as well if you are interested in such things. And in this case, yeah, we're gonna be grabbing stuff here. So from here, I really like Evolution Sage. I think that can be really good. I don't know why this card is. First, let's save and hope it goes away. I might have missed this discussion, but just how good is the EDHREC average deck function? That's actually something that I recommend doing if you are short on time. What I would do is, if you just want a very quick loadout or just like a comparison, you want to go to EDHREC first, search for your commander, and click average deck. And that will give you, I wouldn't say a tune deck or anything. I've never been super impressed with them. It's really hit or miss depending on like what the average deck is going to be for that specific commander. But it's definitely a nice reference to have. And then from there on, like, if you search people's personal deck lists, I think they're going to be generally better than the average deck list. So that's step 2. If you just want it in 5 minutes, you just Google search for a deck list, and that'll be fine. This is the crazy method, though. This is like if you want to get super intense with it. So building from scratch, the first thing I do is I usually go to budget commander articles for ideas. And then the second thing I do is I start using and abusing Scryfall like crazy. And that's where I'm trying to show over here. So, yeah, for Skullbriar, I really like Evolution Sage, so I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to grab... Managorger Hydra is $4. I love this card, but not for $4. I don't like it. Pier is $6. That's going to be tough. Tough sell. Forgotten Ancient we're definitely going to be putting in. Solidarity of Heroes is kind of interesting. Invigorating Surge could be interesting. I'll throw in an Invigorating Surge. Increasing Savagery we already have. Hey Tomer, I was thinking of this commander when you announced the stream. Awesome. Hopefully this can help then. I will throw in Solidarity of Heroes. Heroes. Maybe a biogenic upgrade. Vigor is bomb. We can throw it in. Vigor is really good if your creatures are taking damage, though. It doesn't really do anything without it. So, just something to keep in mind. The Ozolith is okay. I do like me some hardened scales. But again, you'll notice that most of these cards are not going to make it in the final cut. Because we are trying to keep it cheap. Predatory Hunger is really underrated. What else did I have here? Eternal Thirst. Evolutionary Escalation. Put 3 counters on target creature you control. Yes. I like that. Hydra's Growth is really good. Maybe Retreat to Kazandu, but I'm not sure. And maybe the first Iron games. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see if there's any lands that really matter. I'm not really sure if there are. Actually, we can cover lands pretty fast afterwards. Any ramp that's +1/+1 counter themed? I think there definitely will be. There's Gyre Sage. There's Fertilid. There's Rishgar. There's, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I'm just going to copy paste. Boom. So far, so good. Is this a +1/+1 counter deck or a kicker deck? It's both. Retreat to Coral Helm returns it to hand to cast it again with more counters? How does it return it to hand? It only untaps and scries, I think. Alright, I will get to the Simic and blue cards soon enough. I'm just kind of going through the rest of this Skullbriar list to see if there's anything else +1/+1 countery that I want to steal from. Also, where's Armored Judge? Inspiring Call. There it is. Inspiring Call is pretty insane. Oh, Ordeal of Nylea is definitely a good one. Very nice. Very nice. What else is good? Incursion options. I don't think there's any tutors related to it. And we have like Armored Judge? Armored Judge? What am I looking for? It's a 3/3 Armorcraft Judge. That's the one. Thank you. Armorcraft Judge. Alright. How do you turn on dark mode in MTG Goldfish? You have to go to the very bottom of the site, and you can go to toggle dark mode. Ah, it's so bright. I can't believe I've used this site for like years, and yeah, now I can't handle the bright mode now. Okay, so if you notice, we're filling up the deck list pretty fast, right? Pretty darn fast. Bow of Nylea, Forced Adaptation. Now, I actually don't know if I've done a Simic deck before that cares about Orin Roof to Vastwood. Yeah, only one land so far. Yeah, it's the dark mode's definitely a game changer, I must say. Let's see from the $50 list if there's anything here that I can grab. Orin Reef the Vastwood, that's basically it. Surely I had more. Ooh, and Llanowar Reborn. Pollen Bright Druid. I'm gonna throw in your suggestions, chat. This deck wants Purin Toothy too much, too expensive. Renegade Crassus. I'm just gonna we're gonna do the cuts afterwards, but Veil of Summer, yeah. Maybe some proliferate things. We shall get there. I don't know why this keeps happening. Flux Channeler, Biogenic Upgrade, Contingency Plan, Counter Doubling Strive Spell. We have that one. Evolution Sage is in here. Biogenic Upgrades in here. Thrumming Bird. I think Thrumming Bird's a little bit too slow, honestly. All right, so I'm gonna do like a very like quick look at the remaining +1/+1 counter cards over here, just to say that I did. But I'm assuming that, like, if I was writing a Budget Commander article right now, I would go through every single one. But I don't want to subject you to the lengthiness of that. So I'm going to go super quick, see if there's anything here that really stands out that I want. Maybe Fathom Mage. I like drawing cards. Master Biomancer isn't there. But this is going to be like super fast. Add 1 mana of any color. If it's spent on multiple creature, maybe Guild Mages for him. Experiment Crash. I thought I already did Experiment Crash. Oh, Experiment Crash is way too slow. I think it's way too slow, but I threw it in there. Herald the Secret Streams? Alright, we'll throw it in, I guess. There's a lot of fans of Herald of the Secret Streams, so I will toss it in there. Contagion Class, too slow. The thing is, our kick spells are going to be really expensive, is the problem. So we're gonna be spending a lot of our mana on kick spells, so I don't want to be spending a lot of mana doing other things as well. Like, if we want the rest of the cards, kick spells are going to be slow enough that the rest of the spells I just don't want to be either slow or super mana intensive. No. Simic Ascendancy. Maybe. Spark double, maybe. Bread for the Hunt is interesting. We're going to get to proliferate right after this. So, we got through most of them, I think. We got... I'll go through the uncommons. I won't go to the actual commons because that might take a while. But thankfully, I think we hit all of the good ones. Ooh, Ordeal of Thassa is a good one. Iridescent Hornbeetle? Bioshift? I'm throwing in the cards you mentioned. Or at least most of them. Ooh. Renata Call to the Hunt is pretty... It's pretty efficient. Song of Rayleigh's for getting +1 +1 counters is pretty inefficient. You have to wait 3 turns to get them. Nah. All right, we are almost done. Fastwood fortifications actually. Nah, I mean I'll throw it in there. Why not? All right. I'll put in more cards. Jeez, guys. Citizen Tactics. Elderbaron. Flux Chandler. Ooh, Forge of Heroes is good. Actually, no, it's not that good. It's literally like we could have just paid 1 extra mana and given it a +1/+1 counter anyway. Never mind. Ignore that. Oh, Opal Palace is really good though. Okay. All right. We have covered Verdurus. All right, we'll put in Armory of Arasia. Okay. Herald of the Secret. Did I get that wrong? Herald of Secret Streams? Oh, okay. Hey, no problem, Robert. I'm glad you're liking it. Oh, sorry. Sergio. Sorry. I'm glad you like it, Sergio. Sorry about that. Okay. So, we have a lot of cards at this point, right? We have a silly amount of cards. I mean, we have 100 cards, but we only have 5 lands. So, we're like, I don't know, we're like 31 cards above where we want to be. What I would be doing here now is if I was writing a budget commander deck, I would literally be doing it like this. I would take the cards that we have and I would open up a lot of tabs. So again, I don't necessarily advocate for this, but this is how I would write a budget commander deck. I do, for every single section of the deck, I will do its own separate deck list so that I can better organize my thoughts. If you look over here on the Skullbriar article, you'll notice that every single aspect of the deck has its own section. So at first I talk about +1/+1 counters. Not anything that has utility added to it, just +1/+1 counters. So I have a section for that. Then I have a section just for lands. Then I have a section just for ramp. And then I have a section for card draw and removal and protection and recursion and tutors. And then I go through my deck building checklist. And by the time I go through all of this, I have a full deck. And then building a deck is all about just going through my lists and taking the cards that I like at the budget point that I like it at and throwing them together. So actually building the deck list takes like a minute. Whereas building all the lists for every single section of the deck is going to take a long, long time. So that's where I'm at headwise. So you put every stupid idea we suggest into a real article. I mean, I might write it up into a real article, but obviously, when chat is involved, there's going to be a lot more to sift through. It would be a lot faster for me to do it solo, obviously. But this is more of like, this is me laying out my thought process, not necessarily writing the deck by myself. But so what I would be doing here is I would literally take every single card and I would put it into its own section. So for example, land options. I would make a section for that. I would take every single card that is a land and I would take it and put it into its own section. So I would take this and I'd put this into its own section. Boom. And then I would keep going to every single one like that. I don't think that's something you all want to see right now, so I'm going to skip through that process because that's going to take a good deal of time all by itself. But what I will show you is basically that's how I would do if I was actually building a deck instead of just explaining the thought process right now. Is instead of having everything dumped into one single list like this, I would be dumping them into their own separate lists. So that's just something to keep in mind if you want to do something similar yourself. Is there any reason you use tapped out over Architect? I don't use tapped out. I use MTG Goldfish, and the reason why I use it is because I incorporate MTG Goldfish deck lists into my articles. So you can see like this deck list over here, counter options, which is just a list of cards. That's an MTG Goldfish deck list. So that's why I do it. I'm not saying that MTG Goldfish is the best site for making deck lists. It still works for me, and it's how I make my articles. But you can use whatever you want, whatever works for you. When trimming your peer, which areas do you focus on the most? I just have one level, and I just go for it around. Actually, I just don't get hair in certain spots, I guess. Wow, someone using MTG Goldfish website is blowing up. Yeah. But how do you split into categories on Tapped Out? I don't know about Tapped Out. I'm sorry. I usually that MTG Goldfish deck list. um, but yeah, that. You know what? We'll see how quickly I can do it. So we have this. It will basically be like every single thing. I'm gonna do it because I'm insane, and I feel kind of bad if I'm not giving the correct experience to everybody. So here we go. Let's see how fast I can do what I usually do. Ramp options. I don't know. Overgrowth. Verazol. Removal options. Blink of an eye. Do I have a little bit? I have a little bit of OCD, obviously. Have you read my articles? Do you know how much insane, stupid little amounts of details I put into some of my decks? For no reason. No reason. Don't need to do it. Does not help with the viewership. But do I do it? Of course I do it. I have to. Recursion options. Force. So we got ramp, we got removal, we got recursion, we got +1/+1 counters. No utility. Solidarity of Heroes would go here. So ramp, removal, recursion. I think the last one we just want is card draw, and then we're pretty much good. I think the last, last section is usually I just, it's so many subsections. It's like win conditions and protection and all that nonsense. But they're usually pretty small sections in the grand scheme of things. So we're not going to worry too much about that. Verazol utility options. If we want to break it up afterwards, we can, but this is how we do, friends. This is how we do. So at this point, I can just go blink of an eye. I know this is a removal spell. Oh, it's already in there. Okay, cool. I take that out. Citadel Wood Readers. I know that's a card draw spell. So let's pop it in here. And then just like that, I do every single one. This is card draw. Whoop. Baloth is just like a smashy card. I'll just do other stuff. Smash. Cutting Geyser Mage, I think, is recursion. I think. Let's see. Yep. Wait, no, this is removal. All right, you are actually just witnessing me writing a budget commander deck at this point. This is what it is evolved to, chat. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I can't do a half measure. I'm so sorry. But for a recap for people who are just catching the stream, here are the methods again on what I do for building a budget commander deck. Number one thing you could do if you don't have a lot of time, you go to EDH Rec. If you want a quick deck list in like 1 minute, you go to EDH Rec. You search for the commander that you're interested in, and then you click Average Deck. It will give you just an average deck based on the cards in the decks in their database. It's not a great deck, but it's going to be a sufficient deck. It's going to be decent enough. The next step is you Google search the commander and deck list. People are going to show you their own deck list. The quality is going to range between all of them, but generally speaking, if somebody like makes a video of a certain deck list, they have at least like some knowledge on how the deck's going to be working, and they're going to put a little bit more thought into it than just an average generated deck list. Then the Tomer Crazy method, if you're trying to build a budget commander deck from scratch, if you're trying to build a budget commander deck, which I don't know why you would be unless you're a content creator. If you're a content creator, then this is something you might want to do. Would I say is it like the best thing to do with your time? Probably not. But if you want to do something like this, where you have every single section category in detail, then this is how I do it. This is the thought process. I go through every single section, lands and whatnot, and then I build it from there, which is insane, but that's how I do it. Cantrip, card advantage, animate lane strategy. I don't think so for Verazol. I didn't see a bunch of cards that were useful for the lane animation strategy. I don't know what field research is. Ooh. So all I'm doing now is I'm going through all the cards, and I'm assigning them loose labels. And some of them have multiple uses to them. Some of them I would consider ramp, but also card draw. It really, I don't even remember what I took. Okay. Some of them fit into two categories, but I'm just going to put them in what I would consider the primary reason for why I'm running them, if that makes sense. Maybe I just have like a basher utility thing. Description of Abundance. I'm not sure where I put it. 2+1/+1 counters. We're running it for its removal though. So here's a good example of a card that I'm putting into one category, but I don't necessarily like it has multiple uses, right? Generally speaking though, when I'm trying to cast Inscription of Abundance, I'm using it primarily because of its fight ability. The other two abilities are good and useful, but the fight ability is what I'm here for. I appreciate your thoroughness in deck lists and write-ups, but I can't root for you in Commander Clash. I'm Team Richard. Fair enough. Maybe one day Kithkin will be relevant. You'll be rooting for them for a while, though. Inscription of Insight. This would probably be usually card draw. And I have no idea where everything is. It's a mess. Into the Royal. Definitely, I would consider it primarily removal. That draws us a card. Jace Mirror Mage. Card draw. Alright, I keep getting these two tabs mixed up, so there we go. Lull Mage's Familiar is ramp. Merfolk Falconer, I don't know what that is. Just random utility, I guess. But here, Mold Shambler is removal. This would obviously take somebody longer than me if you're not familiar with all these cards, which is fine. I, again, don't really recommend this way of doing things unless you're crazy like me. So just keep that in mind. There will be other easier ways to do it. And I have other things in mind too. We're going to go over how I'm going to show you how I would go around tuning a deck. This would be like, I guess it's card draw, but it's like very, very loose terminology of that. Rooster Drake's awesome. I don't know where I would put it though. Let's put it in other options. Sure. Rushing River. Want to make an Excel sheet with differently named columns and different tabs? Having to set up different tabs in Chrome seems like more work? Maybe. I'm not sure. This is what I'm used to. This is definitely not. This is not the most efficient way to do it. I will say that. Seagate Stormcaller, I would put it just here for now. Skyclave Relic is ramp. Tomer, did you put in Uro? No. We're trying to go for $50 at the beginning, but I'll show you that there are ways to increase the budget if that's what you're looking for. Strength of the Tajuru is +1/+1 counters. Tazim Royal Mage. Tazim. Oh, that's not great. This would be tutor options, but I don't have a tutor thing, so it's not even tutor options, it's card draw. I'll put it on the card draw. And this would be removal. Can you limit cards by price on Skyfall? Yes, you can. There's actually a filter for that, but it doesn't follow necessarily Card Kingdom prices, and that's what I'm using for the deck list on MTG Goldfish. What if you built Calamax that said it's in colors of both of these guys and Kicker really likes copy effects? You can definitely just pick a team or commander and it will work just fine. But I like the idea of having like two separate decks. I just think it's neat. I'm hoping these are working out fine. Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong place. Oh, there's so many cards. This is the problem with not doing... I guess this is pretty much par for the course, actually, for how I do it. But at the very least, I would actually just have everything in their own spots at the beginning, as opposed to putting them into their own spots afterwards. So it does save a little bit of time that way, but I will be honest, it is tedious either way. Master Biomancer. What about rename card draw into card advantage? I guess. Riku would be a great option. Yeah, for sure. Are you actually going to publish this deck? Maybe. You never know. We're almost done, I guess. Hopefully, maybe. Relatively there. These are all definitely +1/+1 counter stuff. Actually, this is actually easy for us because most of these are just +1/+1 counter. No utility things. This I would actually label as card draw though. All right, this is actually going a little bit faster because most of these are all in the same spot, really. We are building Verazol kicker, and then we're going to build Hallar kicker, and I'm going to show you some tricks on how to kind of put them both together, if that's kind of like what you're down for. But right now we're building a Verazol deck, the split currents, and I'm just showing you how I kind of organize everything. And this would be considered other stuff because it's primarily for the protection. Renegade Crassus, Fathom Mage. These are for +1/+1 counters. Fathom Mage mostly for card draw. Experiment Crash, I would also say, is mostly for shenanigans. Hairless Secret Streams, also good for unblockable, but Simic Ascendancy is like alternate win condition, also counters. Okay, we're almost there. Oh boy, almost there. I have no idea what this horn beetle is, so we're gonna have to look that up. Spark Double is the other utility. What? Okay. All right, let's see what these other cards are. Flux Channeler, okay. Gilderbrain, okay. Iridescent Horn Beetle is too expensive. 5 mana, put 4 counters on it is fine. Bioshift is not good. I'm just gonna... Well, I guess it is an efficient way of putting counters onto Verazol. It fights Army of Erois. Attacks? No, this is garbage. Let's take that out. All right. And with that, we are pretty much there. Horn Beetle, I'll throw in. It might show up. I hope not, but it might. Do I just have? Oh, okay. Wee. Okay. We did it, chat. We got there. Whew. Wow. All right. So that is a shortened version of how I go about building my deck lists. I would go a little bit. I would even go a little bit more than this. There's just a couple more things I want to look up on Scryfall. So we saved everything. We got our sections. We got lands. We got ramp. We got card draw. We got removal, recursion, +1/+1 counters with no additional utility to them. Like their primary purpose is to just have counters on them. And then we have an other section, which is just like a bunch of stuff that I didn't have a better section for. I just didn't want to cut into more subsections. And now we have just a bit more of searching over here. So we're gonna go back to Scryfall, and the stuff that I want to look up is, oh my god, I just forgot it. I think it was proliferate. Let's look up proliferate. See if there's anything. Contentious plan is probably a little bit too weak. I think these are a bit too expensive for what we want. Inexorable tide, perhaps. Maybe Tezzeret's Gambit. Tezzeret's Gambit here. Inexorable Tide here. Inexorable Tide here. And oh yeah, the last thing I wanted to do, I wanted to look up a lance in semicolors that do +1/+1 counters. We don't have Novagen in here yet. But for the most part, that's about it. I think the only one that really matters in terms of putting more on Verazol, the problem is that, like, Verazol, if we just pay one additional mana, we get another counter on him. So it's not actually that great to run a bunch of these cards that put just one counter for one mana. But Opal Palace is the exception, because it can put multiple counters onto Verazol if it's died a bunch of times. So that's kind of good. The last thing then is we probably want mana fixing. So we want to produce green and you. Let's see. I think I did that one. I think I did that one wrong. I think I did this one too wrong. Produces green and blue. Why is this one not working? Syntax, please. Oh, produces. Boom. Oh, did my chat freeze? Yeah, I thought just chat just stopped talking. Huh. All right, sorry about that. I don't know why chat stopped. All right, I'm catching up on messages now. How can I get in touch with you guys? You can email me at mtggoldfish, Tomer at mtggoldfish. So we're gonna catch up on the chat that I missed, because I thought if you can see on my screen, it just kind of stopped, and I figured people just like lost interest or something. Spine call is typed twice, possibly. I'll fix it later. We aren't on Twitch. No. I'm gonna keep Twitch for when I'm doing non EDH content, but YouTube will just be EDH content all the time. Will you try playing Tribal again on Clash? I think it has some good support lately. I'd love to. If there's like another anything goes, I'll bring it out for sure. When making a deck, should I aim for card advantage or card draw? I think a mix of both is important. You need card draw though. But we'll get over that very soon. I think chat is frozen on the side. Yep. Do we have a game plan for today or just deck building? It's just deck building today. We're going to have gameplay footage Wednesday, and I'm going to be running either Hallar or Verazol, which we're going to have fully built soon enough. Proliferate, shorten for sure. No kicker section. I thought there would be one. We haven't done proliferate. Evolution stage for sure. My guy chat's frozen. Yeah. Karn's Bastion is a land that does proliferate. It's so slow though. I don't like it. Verazol is an animal sanctuary colors. Yeah, I guess. Getting commander because it counts as commander of more X. Okay, so I'm caught up. I'm not gonna listen to this chat anymore. I don't know what happened to that chat. I'm getting rid of that chat. This is a bad chat. And the next thing we want is these mana fixers. Apparently, there's not that many. There's not that many lands that tap for blue and green. I thought there would be a bit more than these, but apparently not. Yeah, that's it. And most of them are, I can guarantee you they're not going to be in our budget. But we'll throw them in anyway. Sanctum. Oh god, that's so loud. Breeding pool. Time for Tropical Island. Yeah, that's definitely going to be in our $50 deck list. Lumbering Falls. I'm not sure if Exotic Orchard's great for a 2-color deck. I feel like that's usually just going to be a 1-color. Whoop. Okay. Rejuvenating Springs hasn't come out yet. Yeah, that's coming out in Commander Legends, so not too much later, but it will be a good one for sure. All right, so these are our land options. I think that's pretty much it. Like we're gonna want to have like scavenger grounds, obviously, and we could start putting in like some of the cycling lands, and actually we could do like MDFCs. Is MDFC? Does that work? I don't know if that's actually a term. Oh, yep. Oh, it's a term. All right, sweet. Of these, I think I like Balaged Recovery a lot. So I'll put ya in. Whoop. Can't type there. Oh, Thriving Lands. Do you know the name of the 2 Thriving Lands that are available for us? Tectonic Edge is definitely a great one. Definitely a great one. Did you put in Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse? I'm not sure if they're good in a 2-color deck. I don't know. Let's type in Thriving. Thriving Grove. And then I think there's one more. Thriving Isle. I don't think Exotic Orchard's good enough here. How expensive are they? They're not that bad right now. They're going down there. All right, we got the 2 in. So of the modal lands, we don't actually have that many. But Balagid Recovery I really like. Glassbolt Mimic I really like. Colony Embish I really like. And Seagate Restoration I really like for the deck. The other ones not so much. But I'm going to throw them in. Those ones in. I mean, I'll throw in Exotic Orchard as an option, but if I'm like trying to cut down $1, then that's like the first thing that goes usually. Let's put in Glassball Mimic. Whoa. Nope. Seagate Restoration, I think is like... Oh, there's 2, yeah. 2 Inspiring Calls, that's not good. Why don't you put Double Faced as lands? I don't really count tap lands as land drops usually. Because they do slow down the deck, and... I don't really consider them worth it, usually. I like them as non-land drops, though. It's just like it's like a neat way of getting more lands into your deck. As opposed to the opposite way. Okay, that's pretty good. Will there be a VOD of the stream? Yep. Okay, so right now what we did is we found every single card essentially that kind of fits the deck's theme. Is there a green-white pathway? I don't think so. I think it would have shown up. Yeah, there's no green-blue pathway, unfortunately. There's a green-red one though. So if we make Hallar, then we can put this one in. Bonder Enclave. Yeah, that's a good one. So right now what we did is we basically put all the thematic cards into our deck, and we've started throwing in card options that don't necessarily fit the theme, but are going to just be useful in general in this deck. So the next step that we're going to be doing is we're going to fill in the rest of the card options with good stuff cards. Because not all of these cards that are thematic are going to make it into the deck. Either because they're too expensive in terms of monetary wise, or they're just not really strong and we'd be losing too much of the deck's power we'd be sacrificing too much of the deck's power for theme, and that's also going to hurt us because if you sacrifice too much power for theme, then you don't get even to show the cool thematic stuff because you're just not going to do much in the game. So there's always a balancing act to do here. So I'm just going to go over every single section, and I'm just going to throw in cards off the top of my head that I think are just good staples. So for ramp, I'm going to be focusing mostly on land ramp. So Search for Tomorrow is a good one. Rampant Growth is a good one. I guess Farseek is fine because it gets an island. Nature's Lore. What else is cheap? We'll do Cultivate and Kodama's Reach. Explosive Vegetation's not terrible. Circuitous Route is good. We're going to have a Guild Gate in our deck too. Grow from the Ashes we already have. What else? Font of Fertility is good. 3 Viz is going to be kind of expensive. The new Royal one, yeah. Springbloom Druid is fine too. Bloom Druid. Dawn Shredder Elk is good. Regeneration. Roiling Regrowth, that's the one. It's not great in this deck. It's better for like a landfall deck, but it's not bad. Harrow. Let's see what else. Again, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. I'm just going to go over to my ramp options over here, and I'm going to see what's good. Diligent Farmhand I quite enjoy. So let me throw in Diligent Farmhand. Crop Rotation isn't ramp per se, it's a tutor. Sakura Tribe Elder, obviously. Oracle of Moldiah, but we're not quite there yet. Edge of Autumn is still in a decent range. I'll put in Oracle of Moldiah just in case. Just in case we want to get to the upgrade section of this deck / article. Migration Path is just like a better evolution. Explosive Vegetation. Skyshark Gleam gets a lot better once we do have duels. I wouldn't run it until we have duels, but it is good when we do have duels. Wayfarer's Bauble is $3, so no. Sol Ring is definitely worth, though. Oh, I'm putting it into the wrong section, aren't I? There we go. Wild Growth, Fertile Grounds, maybe Simic Signet, Arcane Signet. Yeah, we have Primal Growth already in here. All right, I think that's enough to start. No Hedron Archive. Gosh, no. Let's just fix Font of Fertility. Kodama's Reach. That should be good. I don't really like Simic Keystone. Reclaim the Waste is it's not, it doesn't put them into play. But yeah. All right, for card draw options, we have options. Does Verazol fly? I'm pretty sure Verazol flies, right? Right? He flies? He doesn't fly? Oh. I thought he flies. Never mind. I was going to put in like the flying one. All right. So, have I ever done a budget commander on a Simic deck? Really hope I did. This is the easiest way I fill out decks, honestly. Surely. Ooh, maybe Teamer. Did I do one for Teamer? Where did I do? Upgrade options. Oh, I didn't make it nice and pretty. I didn't make it easy for myself to copy myself off this one. But I'm going to do a quick scan and see if there's anything here that catches my eye in terms of card draw that I like. Now, this one had an emphasis on instant spells. So not all these cards are going to actually work really well in a Verazol deck. Fact or Fiction, though, is good. Nyx Bloom worth it? Probably not. I mean, Nyx Bloom's always going to be pretty good. Frantic Search is looting, but not necessarily something I care about. Man, I did not add a lot of good options to this one. Ooh, yeah, Erixmathes. Yes. Good eye, Chad. Good eye. Fantastic. I'm sure I wrote about card draw here. Here we go. This has to be decent, right? Gadwick could be good enough. Maybe. I do like me a Nezahal, even though it's kind of expensive. I put Citadel Wood Readers in here. It is a kind of trash amount, unfortunately, but whatever. Nissa, Steward of Elements. These two are pretty good. Alright, let us steal more from this deck list. Surely I have better options than these. Compulsive Research. Eric's Uprising is decent. It's going to be a pretty creature-heavy deck. I'm also not, like, above just running, like, Careful Consideration and Concentrate. If you want to fill out a deck. Oh, yeah. Budget All-Star Sylvan Library. Harmonize is just, like, a more expensive Concentrate, but it's actually not that expensive these days, actually. You mean Return of the Wild Speaker? Yeah. It is a couple dollars now, but it is worth it. Ooh, I do like Urban Evolution. Thankfully, we're in blue, so we can just, like, drop a ton of just, like, generically good cards, like Recurring Insight and whatnot. Yeah, there's not exactly a shortage of cards we can throw in here, which is great. Pour over the pages, sure. Drawn from Dreams is good, yeah. People keep saying Verity Circle, but I've never been that impressed with it, honestly. Primal Empathy is probably a little bit too slow. Okay. I think that's a good start for the card draw options, too. Drawn from Dreams. There you go. Okay, this is a good start for the card draw options. I think we have more than enough options to fill out a deck with this at this point. Okay, you did good, Sea Monster Tribal. I'm actually going to keep it because it is a Simic deck. And I'm probably just going to pop it open again. It's very good in CDH when there's a lot of mana dorks for sure, but... Or just, like, activated ability dorks for sure, but I don't see it as useful in like, just casual tables. All right, for removal, we're in blue and we're in green, so we're going to have a bunch of counter magic, a bunch of bounce spells, and then a lot of really efficient disenchant effects. Where are ya? Where are ya? Lands, ramp. Oh, I went backwards with this one. Okay. So from these, I like Trigon Predator a whole bunch. We don't have haste in this deck, but still pretty decent. Mystic Snake. These ones are a little bit less decent, I think. Acidic Slime is always good. The nice thing about these two is if you have a deck that has any sort of creature synergy, then creature-based removal gets way, way better. Like if you just have like a Worldly Tutor effect and you really need to get an artifact gone, for example, you can just drop Manglehorn on it, which makes it really useful. I don't mind Scourge of Fleets here. And Nature's Claim is probably the best of the best. I do love Oko. I don't see a lot of people running Oko in their deck lists, but Oko is legit. I think all these cards are fine. I can't believe Swan Song is already that expensive. I mean, it's a good card, but kind of insane that it's $8. That is a card that I would like to see reprinted, please and thank you. Yeah, Oko's bomb. Like, if you just turn an opponent's commander into an elk, then what are they gonna do? They have to scramble to kill it now. Basically, all these cards are pretty good. I could just like literally copy paste this, and we're pretty good. Maybe I just do that. Edit, copy, and paste. Yeah, these removal options are pretty much the same. What I'd run in this deck as well. Yeah. Yeah. Turns out I did a good job with the Rixmathies list. Beast Within. Did I already put in Beast Within? Ooh, I didn't put Beast Within in the... Okay. Alright, so there is room for improvement here. Yeah, Cameron's transformation is amazing. That's definitely going into the deck. Okay. Now we have recursion options. I didn't finish the word recovery. All right, we're gonna go back to the Rixmathies deck. This is gonna be the easiest way to finish it. Oh, we don't have a recursion list. Ah, beans. All right, it wasn't going to be that easy for us. All right. I don't really care too much about recursion at this point. I'm just gonna put in Skullwinder, Eternal Witness, Regrowth, Seasons Past. What else is good? Wildest Dreams. Restock. I don't really like Restock. There's another one though. It's an undaunted version of it though. I think Genesis is a bit too slow. Reclaim is fine. There's like an undaunted version of Restock that I like. Once in Future is really good. I like that. Now you can always edit the old article with whatever you come up with. I could, but I'm very lazy and there's really no payoff for doing that. What's an undaunted one? I need to find it now. I think this one's a little bit of a sleeper. No, I don't want to find Elspeth. This one's a bit of a sleeper. Undaunted Seeds of Renewal. That's what I like. I like this one. This is a solid card. Doesn't get played a lot. It's not insane either. That's why I don't think people play it. But it's really good. I can't play it online because it's not, undaunted cards aren't available online. All right, this is all right. This is a fine start. I don't think we need to mess too much with the recursion aspect. Yeah, Actually, Revival's fine. It's going to be expensive, though. Yo, Tomer, Song of the Dryads? Yeah, it's going to be too expensive. But... Ooh. Oh, I did have a Beast Within. Yeah, Reap's kind of expensive now. It's a good one. It's kind of overhyped, though. Like, it's not insane. I think my one on... Oh, we didn't put in Insight. I really like Insight. That's the one that I championed, Insight. This one is secretly super good. It's like a insane Ristic study. Okay. We got our removal options. We got our recursion options. We got our +1/+1 options. I think we've already covered that one pretty efficiently. Then Protector's a bit too slow, yeah. And we got the other stuff. I think at this point, chat, we are ready to assemble the deck. I know. It's 2 hours into the stream, and we're only at the part where we assemble the deck list. So here as we go. This is what we do. Not search. Control S. How do I do it? Where's the cross through? I thought it's cross through. Strike through. That's what I meant. Yeah, you just got here. Well, welcome. All right, so you pillage Budget Commander, older Budget Commander, So that's the Tomer method number one. You're building a deck from scratch. So you make a list for each section. Lands, ramp, interaction, card draw, recursion, etc. Then you pillage older Budget Commander articles with the same color identities because it just saves you so much time. It's insane. Then you go to Scryfall and you search up relevant keywords. So for Verazol cares about kicker cards and kick cards and +1/+1 counters. How do people stare at this much white screen? I don't. This is... If there was a dark mode, I would use it here. This is purely for your entertainment, folks. I don't use this Google Doc. So after this crazy method, then, only then, do I go to EDH Rec, and I'm going to go type in Verazol, and I'm going to see if there's anything here that I missed. Is there any insights that people have come up with that I don't think Flooded Grove showed up. How did I miss Flooded Grove? Huh, okay. Well, this is exactly why I go to EDH Rec. Because sometimes you'll just miss stuff, and EDH Rec will have it. You go a lot more cards deeper per slot than I do, but I split my deck building into sections. Exactly. So you make a list for each section. That's how I do it. And then I pillage Budget Commander articles with the same color identities. Then I go into Scryfall and I search up all the relevant keywords. And then and only then, I can't, man. Nope. No. Undo. Man. I can't use a Google Doc. No, man. Let's just copy paste this part. All right, here this is the real challenge. Oh my god. decrease indent. I did it. I nailed it. All right. And then this part is check EDH rec for any cards you might have missed. Finally, chat. I beat the boss. I got there. All right. So now we go to EDH rec and we just see, is there anything here that other people figured out that we have not? Bum, 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 bum. Chances are there's going to be a couple. Counterspell. Did I not put Counterspell? I did. Well, I put Mana Drain, but I didn't put Counterspell. I mean, so a protection section is legit, but like Counterspell can count as protection. So at least in a blue deck, I don't usually have a protection section so much as just a here's some good cards section. I like the Lone Llanowar Elves. Yeah, I mean Llanowar Elves is a solid card. Veil of Summer really solid, but it's $7. Twinning Staff. There we go. This is really good in Verazol, so we're going to throw it into the other stuff section. Net decking re. I am a filthy net decker. Honestly, also, by the way, just to be clear, net decking, you should never like, there should never be a negative stigma against net decking. Like, I think everybody does it, myself included, and like that's just how you get better, right? Talisman of Curiosity. That's a good one. Let's throw that in. Autumn's Veil is a good one, yeah. Let's put it in other stuff. And let's put it in Veil of Summer too. I don't think we had Yavimaico's. I think my search I think my search did not work that well for lands that tap for two different colors. Fable Passage is fine. And on that note, Prismatic Vista. Okay. I think at that point we went through the EDH rec recommendations. I could see like Mystic Sanctuary maybe, Reliquary Tower maybe, Alchemist Refuge maybe. Skyshroud Forest? What is Skyshroud Forest? I'm gonna find out right now. Misty. I'm gonna put in Misty Rainforest just as like, here is the option is there, friends. Skyshroud Forest? Ugh. No. No. Okay. Command Sphere, I don't think we need. I think we're fine. Okay, I think, finally, chat, we are at 2 hours, 15 minutes into the stream. We have finally completed our deck. Pretty much. And by finally, I mean we could finally build our deck. We have finally found the cards we want in our deck. And now we've built our deck. And this comes to the next step. Which is... using a deck building checklist. Yay! It's checklist time, everybody's favorite time, where we make sure we build a proper deck instead of a pile of cards. So we're going to go down every single one of my Budget Commander articles. should, I really hope it's here, has, yes, it does. Every single one of my Budget Commander articles has a deck building checklist. This is basically like a general guideline for how to build a pretty decent deck, specifically one that is on a budget. You'll notice that, for example, this is specifically the budget. It's not a CDH guide, and it doesn't pertain to decks that have very high budget counts. For the most part, though, most of these things are going to be applying regardless of what your budget is. I think most decks are going to want to have 50 mana in their deck. It sounds like a lot, but I think it's incredibly reasonable. Usually, the way I do the mana is going to be 37 lands and 13 ramp cards. Again, it sounds like a lot. It sounds crazy, but I've found, at least from my like decade of playing, that having half of your deck focused around making mana of some kind is really, really, really useful for you to make sure that you're not falling behind in the early game and not falling behind in the late game. You want to make sure that you're advancing your goal as quickly as possible. And to do that, you're going to need a lot of mana, regardless of what you're doing. And some decks are going to want less mana. Some decks are going to want more mana. But this is like a general deck building guideline. So the first thing I always go for is 50 mana sources. The next thing I like doing is having 10 sources of card advantage. Generally speaking, most of these are just going to be card draw, but stuff that basically, like Sun Titan, I would consider card advantage, because it's going to get multiple things out of your graveyard. If it gets more than one thing out of your graveyard, that's card advantage. But usually I'm looking for things that net me two cards, two non-land cards in my hand or directly into play. The next thing I look for is 6 targeted removal. Again, if you have no removal, if you have no interaction, chances are some deck is going to just do something very powerful, and if you don't have an answer to it, you're just going to lose the game. So having 6 targeted removal is, I think, the bare minimum. I would actually recommend putting it up to like 8, maybe even 10 sources of removal. It's a lot, again, but I do think it's very important. After that, we have 3 board wipes. I think board wipes are just really, really solid in general. Yeah, fadeaway is really good. Let me throw that in. Before I totally blank out. Fadeaway. That ADD kicking in immediately. So yeah, 3 board wipes. Again, if you're like a super creature heavy deck, maybe you want to run 1 less. If you're not a creature heavy deck, maybe you want 1 more. It really depends. 2 sources of recursion. I just think like mid to late game, instead of just getting more and more card draw, generally speaking, your graveyard is going to be full of really good cards already. So you just need to have some amount of recursion for the late game to get back your best spells, because they're going to be in your graveyard now, not in your library necessarily. And then 2 flexible tutors. Some decks just don't even have access to two really cheap tutors. And this is where basically things change a lot for budget decks versus CDH decks. On a budget, you can't really afford a lot of the really good tutors unless you're in a color like black. Black has like Diabolic Tutor at less than $1 and other options. But some decks won't even have any really good applicable tutors. I think most will, but some might not. That's why I only say 2 tutors. But once you increase the budget of your deck, I think you should want to lower the count of some of your other cards in your deck. Just cut out the weaker, redundant pieces and add more and more tutors to them. So like Mystical Tutor or a Worldly Tutor. For example, like if I say like run 3 board wipes, in general, if I had like 6 tutors and 4 ways of finding board wipes or something, or like 3 ways of finding board wipes, I can see this going down to 2 board wipes, and you won't have any issues with it. And then finally, a surprise. Graveyard Hate. Graveyard Hate. You could put that in removal section, because it is basically just a different form of removal. But I give it its own little section to make sure to really drive in that point that people don't forget, because most decks are graveyard decks to some extent. Every deck has some amount of graveyard recursion. Those cards are usually some of the most powerful cards in their decks. like even just like a Sun Titan in a white deck, for example, is going to be one of the most powerful cards in their deck. And then one of the most popular archetypes in Commander is Graveyard Matters. So you have many forms of it. You have artifact decks, which like to mass reanimate artifacts from their graveyard. All basically any black deck is going to be running a ton of graveyard support because sacrifice is such a powerful archetype. Reanimation is such a powerful archetype that basically against any black deck, you're gonna be fighting against their graveyard as like a primary source. And then one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that land decks are almost always going to be graveyard decks. And the reason why I say that is some of the most powerful engines in a graveyard deck are stuff like Crucible of Worlds, right? This allows you to play more fetch lands from your graveyard. All lane decks love this effect. They also love like Ramunap Excavator, for example. Same thing. A lot of landfall decks are going to be running, or Land Matter deck runs Splendor Reclamation as well to get back all their lands all at once. So like, if you're ever against a Titania deck, like land decks are just basically graveyard decks. So if you want to shut down a land deck, not only do you need to prevent them from ramping like crazy, but you also need to make sure that their graveyard is being handled with. I think that's something a lot of people don't realize in Commander. So I usually run at least one spot for Graveyard Hate. I really like having also a way to find my Graveyard Hate too. So Soul Guide Lantern is like an excellent option for it. It's my current favorite. All right, so that was my rant on Graveyard Hate. Any deck can run like Scavenger Grounds or like Relic of Progenitus or Torpor or Tormod's Crypt or any of those. Any of them work. So just make sure you have at least one and possibly a way to tutor it up when you need it. And then the final thing is an I win card. A lot of decks can just win the game based on following their own trajectory. But I do find that there's a lot of decks that they're so focused on like dirtling around and generating value that they neglect a way to actually win the game. And you often see this with like, for example, Mirren of Clan Toth decks often just like neglect to have a win condition, or Muldrotha the Gravetide. I see a lot of Muldrotha decks that they just don't have a way to win the game. And the easiest way to fix that is just like throw in a card that is there specifically to win you the game. If you are in like a Mirren or Muldrotha deck, you can easily add like a Blood Artist effect to, make infinite sacrifice engines and then win the game off infinite pings. Or you just run like a really big spell, like an Insurrection in a red deck, or a Rise from the Dark Realms in a black deck. There's a lot of easy ways to make sure that your deck can actually close out the game once the game does go long. So, with that in mind, we are going to copy paste. I'm going to copy paste my deck list. And we're going to throw it in here. Oh, God. Control Shift V. Let's put it like that. Simic Ascendancy could be the win. We'll figure that out together. All right. So we have the deck list. We have all the parts of the deck. We have our checklist. Now let's assemble the deck. This is the final part of this tutorial. So we have we have our commander and we have nothing else. So now it's time to fill it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find, I'll fix Bonders Enclave. I'm going to take every single, we're doing a budget deck, so it's going to be $50 or less. And we're just going to take every single card that I think is worth running and just shove it into the list. So, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard. Probably not Guild Mages Forum. Lumbering Falls. Opal Palace, maybe. Oran Reef, the Vastwood. Scavenger Grounds, for sure. Some Growth Chamber I do like. Some Guildgates. Tectonic Edge is really cheap. I like that. Temple of Mystery is also very cheap. Thornwood Falls. Whoop. Thriving Grove. Thriving Isle. Throne of Mackendy is going to be one of our best. And Woodland Stream. And then finally, Yavamayakos. So we might not keep all of these cards. Some of them are like pushing $1. And I don't know if they're going to be necessarily worth it. And just for now, Simic Growth Chamber. There we go. So, I mean, it's already taking up $12 of our $50 budget, which isn't the worst, but something to keep in mind. We can cut down like maybe like the Thriving Isle or something later on. But for now, we'll keep it like this. So that's 16. Then we're going to want, like, let's say 15 forest, 15 island. Let's say 16 forest. So that's 37 lands, I think. Whoop. I overshot that by a little bit. How about we run that one back a little bit? Let's do 11 and 10. Whoops. All right. All right, so that's looking pretty nice. That's our nice start. You'll see that after doing all the hard work, this part is super easy. So now we want 10 ramp cards. So I'm just going to take like the cards that I think kind of fit really well here. So we definitely want Elfheim Druid. Actually, I'll just move it over here. You don't need to see it anymore. You'll see it here. Incubation Druid, I think, is very good too. Score Tribe Elder is definitely very good. I'll just like make it like that. I generally don't like mana dorks too much, but sometimes the synergy of the deck make them a little bit more appealing. We're going to make additional tweaks afterwards. And I do think, for example, MTG Goldfish deck list builder, it works for me, but you might want to try out, for example, like Architect, because Architect does have categories like ramp and stuff that you can make it a little bit easier for you to follow along with. I will put in the Planeswalker, even though I'm not sure if I want it. And then we want to definitely put in Ramp and Growth. Definitely want to put in Cultivate and Hera, Grow from the Ashes. I definitely want like 13 ramp sources just because Verazol is super mana hungry and the payoff is real good. Primal Growth is definitely also a solid inclusion here. I think Search from Tomorrow is also quite good. I'm going to try and also lean towards kicker cards. So like the Skyclave Relic, for example, is particularly good here. All right, we probably have a bit too many ramp cards. Absent ultimatum. I'm catching up on chat now. Scavenging ooze is budget enough and has +1. Ooh, yes, that is a good one. I will throw it in there. I do like the scoos, and I did not update the list to reflect that it got reprinted. All right, where were we? All right, so right now I added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 things to cut. 8 ramp spells to cut, basically. I'm not gonna run Kyora's Follower, I don't think. I think Kyora's Follower is good when we have like the wild growths and stuff. I'm gonna take out the overgrowth, I think. Well, like what's the worst here? I do like Cultivate a good deal. I think the Lull Mage Familiar is a little bit too cute. Like it is on theme. So we need to cut 7 cards. See ya, Porter. Have a good night. These ones are fine. I think we just take out the Fertile Ground and Nesting Ground is +1/+1 counter, add land. That's an enchantment. I don't think it's very good. Yeah, this one's probably not that great. So now we have like 4 more cuts. This is at least a good spot to be in when we have too many good cards to throw into the deck. I guess Font of Fertility is not insane. Compared to the rest. I do like Overgrowth. I'll take out Font of Fertility. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Sol Ring would be auto occlude, but how does it work for budget? I think it's worth shelling out $3 for. I might cut it, but we'll see. But it's definitely worth that extra dollars. Hey, Delmar, I'm going through a large MTG Goldfish Commander phase. Thank you for so many great videos. Thanks for saying that. I'm glad you're enjoying them. What about Wordbriar Elemental? I'm not sure what that is. You know what? I'm going to. What is Woodbriar Elemental? Do you mean this card? No. Apparently not. I can't find this Woodbriar Elemental. Wolfbriar. Oh, Wolfbriar Elemental's in here. Oh, looking for some budget alternatives on ramp and such? No, I'm actually looking for cuts. I have too many ramp cards right now in the deck. But you know what? I'm just going to, when I'm stuck like this, I just kind of move forward. So we're going to have a little section for our ramp. We need to make four ramp cuts. Question mark. And we're just going to move on. All right. Now for card draw, we want 10 sources of card draw. The Chronicler we definitely want. Green probably doesn't need Sol Ring. I mean, they don't, but they kind of want it anyway. Because it's so good. I like Fathom Mage. It's probably not great, but... I'm also not... I'm not too upset if I have 17 ramp cards and just have a bunch of ramp, honestly. Thicket Elemental is definitely good. I like that we don't need Nezahal because we have so much good ramp. This is probably not good enough. Jace. I mean, I'll throw in Jace, but I don't think we're going to afford him. Actually, he's probably not good. Kira's also kind of rampy too, which is kind of cool. Is Lotus Cobra too expensive? I didn't check, but I'm just assuming that it is. So we have 3, 7. I do like Drawn from the Dreams, a good deal. That is a solid card. Oh yeah, Inscription, 100%. Is there anything else that's super on theme? Ah, these cards are too expensive. Ooh, Ordeal of Facet, yes please. I do like Aruk's... maybe this one's good enough? Probably not. I feel like Breath of the Hun is maybe too cute, but I really like it. I don't know. I'm also going to throw in Urban Evolution. It's draw 3, which is 1 below Tidings for the same cost, but it does let you put an additional land. I think that might be worth it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I say 10 is the minimum, but I'm going to throw in one more because I like to. Yeah, we have Citadel Wood Readers there. Is Field Researcher in there? I think Field Researcher's in another section. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Field Researcher. Field Research. Yeah, that's in the deck. I'm gonna throw an Insight, and we're gonna stop there. All right, so we got card draw out of the way. It is now time for removal options. So we're definitely putting in the Skoos. That's going to be our Graveyard Hate. A Graveyard Hate number 1. I think the Cunning Geyser Mage is probably too bad. So Trigon Predator. Spell Contortion I think is just too expensive. Mold Shambler. I mean, I could just toss it in for fun. I don't mind too much. Territorial Allosaurus. Okay. I guess copying Slinvoda is not really great. But it is a kind of interesting bounce. Nature's Claim, obviously. Blink of an Eye, obviously. Counterspell, I think we can afford. Not sure if it will be worth it, but we can afford it. Inscription of Abundance, obviously. Into the Royal. I don't know why I put in... Beast Within, maybe? Whoops. Didn't want to click that. I will throw in Fade Away just for now. Just for cutesy. Because I like it. It's my pet card. Colony Ambush, yes. Do like me some modal removal. Incubation, no. Also no. Kenrush Transformation? Yes. What was the thing that somebody wanted? Spell Contortion? I'll throw it into the options section. How about that? I'll make it an option, but I don't think I'm gonna add it. Negate's gotta be worth it. How many cards on theme would you put into a deck? I would put all the ones that are good. It's hard to say like which cards are on theme or not, because like I just try to fill the deck with thematic cards that are good enough, and then the rest I will toss it. Like, yeah, Spell Contortion costs 3 mana for a mana leak, or like a bad mana leak, and then you have to pay an additional 2, so 5 mana for a bad mana leak draw card. And then you could kick it more often, but it's bad. It's bad. Like, compare that to just like Dismiss. Right? Dismiss is just pay 4 mana, counter the spell, no option for them to pay extra, and then draw a card. I think Contortion's is too bad. River's Rebuke, Lignify. It doesn't mass board bounce. It only River's Rebuke only bounces one person's board. Where's your Llanowar of Elites? Probably not good enough. Spell Swindle, too expensive, I think. So far I like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We could have another board wipe. I don't mind another board wipe. What's the Miracle one? I forgot the name. I like the Miracle one a good deal. Any cards from New Zendikar in the deck? Yeah, there are definitely going to be a couple at least. Oh, we're not done with the deck yet. Devastation Tide. I like Devastation Tide. If it's like less than $2, I'm gonna keep it. I do like Devastation Tide quite a bit. $1.69. Fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. We're good for removal right now. We're going to make more adjustments at the end. but let's go for recursion. I don't really like to see Moral Mage. Costs a lot of mana. Murasa Sproutling I do like. Murasa Sproutling I do like. Skullwinder I do like. Time Sifter. Why Time Sifter? Isn't that the one that just like ruins everybody's turns? Wall Stream we don't need. Regrowth is good. Balaged Recovery is real good. I like Once and Future as well. We don't need that many cards, though. That's 4 recursion cards already. I don't think that's going to be much more than that. Alright, +1/+1 counters. Gnarlid Colony, probably kind of bad. Evolution Sage, kind of good. Gildebairn, not great. Renegade Crassus, maybe. World of Hulklade, maybe. Armorcraft Judge, yes. Forgotten Ancient is worth the $2. Strength of the Tajuru, definitely. Definitely. Increasing Savagery, I love it. Hoverbearer. Song of Freyalise is an option, but... Oh, no. Song of Freyalise is not for counters. I think it's a bit too slow on both the things that it does. I like Ordeal of Nylea. Rollisk I don't think is good in this deck. 96 cards. We're actually under budget, by the way, so this is actually really good. We need 4 more cards. Well, 5 more cards because this is counting as. Oh, this is counting as 4 cards. Never mind. All right, we're gonna have to make some cuts eventually, but all right. Can we go infinite with Renata in this deck? Is that a thing we can do? There's probably some infinite combos that we can do in our colors. I wonder if it's worth it. Small Zagana? Nah. Let's put in Evolutionary Escalation, because I think it's a funny card. Did we not put in... Oh, we have an other stuff section, too. What's in the other stuff? It was kicked. Let's throw in Myriad Constructs. Yeah, we have one more section that I just had as other stuff. So we'll grab whatever is useful here. Wolfbriar Elemental. Wall Garden could be good. I think Experiment Garage is too expensive. Incredibly expensive. Ooh, Vines of the Vastwood. Vines of Vastwood. And Twinning Staff. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of good cards here. Roost of Drakes. Saproling Infestation. Oh, Woodfall Primus, yes. Woodfall Primus. That would be under removal. I'll put him under removal. I don't know how expensive Woodfall Primus is, but if it's cheap, $250. I mean, that could be something we could just jam in. So we could cut four cards that are rampy. Can you splash white for Divine Intervention? That seems kind of extreme. Not gonna lie, that's a bit extreme. It is definitely possible though. Oh, we wanted Twinning Staff. Terracidon doesn't infinite for nada though. That's the problem. Splasher for Hallar. Well, I mean the plan was to go for Hallar after this. We did have 4 ramp cards that we wanted to cut, and at this point, I do kind of just want to jam the. I think I just want to jam the combo, and then just, ooh, Rite of Replication. That's what we want. I definitely want Rite of Replication. It is $5, so it's not exactly cheap. And did we throw in Vines of the Vastwood yet? Vines of Vastwood. We're gonna make some changes, but I think this is where we want to be. I don't think we need the combo. I don't think we need the Renata combo. I was thinking about it, but we don't. Although maybe we could throw it in there. Maybe. This list is looking sick. I'm not gonna lie. This list is looking really good. I'm pretty stoked about it. Yeah, like, it has a lot of removal. It has everything that I wanted to put into the deck. Clone Legion more than right. Clone Legion doesn't really fit with the theme, though. The double Spell Swarm card, Give and Take. Would you put Gyre deck in a deck like this? Yeah, I would, but it was a couple dollars, I think. Gyre Sage was $269. It seemed like a little bit expensive for what it did, but it is a good card. Definitely think it's a good card, but it just seemed a tad expensive. So we're basically, how many decks Kirk cards does it have? I think it has a good amount. Let's count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Seems like 22. Seems like a 22 kicker cards, which I think is a good spot to be in. Water spout elemental. I don't think New Horizons worth it for over rampant growth. What's Mirio's favorite fabric? I don't know, Austin. What's his favorite fabric? 23, you missed Chalice. Oh yeah, so 23. Yeah, I think 23 kicker cards is pretty solid. So at this point, I do want to throw in Renata, and I do want to throw in the other one. I don't know if we can cut it down that many cards, though. I really want Rite of Replication. It's such a strong card. Include Temur Sabertooth as a way to protect your commander and reuse your kicker creatures. I think we have enough ways to protect the commander. Right now, I'm gonna cut down some of the more expensive cards, I think, and to shore up the price a little bit. We don't have to do too much. We need to cut 4 cards, 4 ramp cards, so we could fit in the Renata thing. I'd like to. I'm going to replace Counterspell with Negate. It's a little bit easier to cast, and it is a cheaper card by a little bit. Beast Within, I feel like maybe we can just cut that card because we are replacing it with Woodfall Primus, and both are going to be pretty similar in terms of function, though they are very different in terms of price, obviously. I do really want Rite of Replication in there. Devastation Tide, we can probably replace with something that is a little bit cheaper, but does the same thing. Like maybe Engulf the Shore might be enough. It is pretty cheap. And Whelming Wave, actually Whelming Wave. It is a serpent. Whelming Wave doesn't remove serpents. But I also do like Engulf the Shore quite a bit. But Whelming Wave is kind of interesting. Flood of Tears is a little bit too expensive. I'm trying to just lower the price a little bit. I think we go Whelming Wave. All right, $55. That's all we need to trim at this point. Primal Growth is kind of expensive. Man, Rite of Replication is definitely eating a lot of the budget, but I really want it in there. Oh yeah, we're cutting Soul Ring. I forgot. It's a very good card, don't get me wrong, but we do need to cut some ramp cards, and this is an easy way to... I don't think Rise from the Tides is going to be good enough here. Woodfall Primus might be too expensive. It's probably too cute, honestly. It probably is a little bit too cute. Because it goes infinite with... Renata, but... It's not... Like, it's not necessary. But it is kind of good. I don't know. That might be a mistake. Honestly, I'm not sure. I also don't think we're going to get there with Simic Ascendancy. I think Simic Ascendancy is way too cute. We're not going to have 20 growth counters on it. I don't think. I think Simic Ascendancy might be a cut. Budgetary limitation? I mean, it's surprisingly brutal if you're not used to it. Like, I've been building decks like this for a long time, so it's not too bad for me, honestly. I feel like Simic Ascendancy, if we put counters on all our creatures at once, that could be really strong. Whenever one or yeah, you could get a lot of stuff on it, but I think if we just do Renata instead of Simic Ascendancy, then Renata's just better in general. Just like when you're not actually winning the game with her. Renata called to the hunt. And then we do have that combo just at any given time. The Renata combo. And now we're so close. We're so close. We're at $52. Okay. Okay. We're gonna adjust the lands a little bit. We're not gonna cut lands, but we're gonna cut some lands for basics. I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance, but this must be done. I think the Thriving Isle. I'm eyeing that Thriving Isle, man. I think the Thriving Isle gets cut for. I think we're pretty green heavy, so we're probably going to have to adjust the basic land ratio anyway. I'm sorry, I have to do it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put it for a forest. I'm gonna put in another basic. Oh boy. All right, we're at 5072. Both thriving lands. I think. If we do cut that, then we're done. That's it. We've done it. It's gonna get cheaper eventually. It will get cheaper, but for now, maybe Opal Palace. Actually, we could pay 2 mana to put. It's actually super slow in our deck. So Verazol, if Verazol dies one time, then we can tap it for 2 mana to put 2+1/+1 counters on it. So when it dies, only when Verazol is recast for the 3rd time does Opal Palace actually give us any counters on it. I think Opal Palace is actually like not good in this deck. I think you have to cast Verazol the 3rd time for it to actually be decent. Cause yeah. Or else you just could have spent that mana putting counters on it. Yeah, Opal is a big miss here actually. So we're gonna cut that. We're gonna put a forest, and that's it. And that's it, chat. Is there any worse lands that we can cut for the thriving land we cut? Probably not. This seems good actually. Okay. I think that's it. I think we got there, chat. I think I'm pretty happy with this. Yeah. Put in acidic slime? I mean, we could, but what would we cut for it? Halfway there? No, I think that might be it for us. I mean, do you really want me to do Hallar now? That would take me another hour. Acidic slime over Woodfall? No, Woodfall goes infinite with Renata. Oh, actually, I guess it's not infinite with Renata. We need a sack outlet, right? I just realized that Woodfall doesn't actually work as how I was hoping to. We need a sack outlet for Renata, and then we can actually go, oh man, okay, I'm cutting it. All right, and we're cutting Woodfall Primus for, I think, Beast Within. I think that's how we want it. Yep. We could have like an acidic slime or something too, but actually we do have. What can we cut? I think we have too much graveyard recursion. Maybe. Promise Hallar. Simic Ascendancy back in? Ag greater good? No. No. No, chat. I mean, you could take this. This isn't EDH politics. You promised us. Oh no. Oh no. What have I gotten myself into? Maybe we take evolution to escalation for. I'll take out escalation. And I'll put in. Acidic slime. How about that? Why are you running Orin Reef the Vastwood? I don't know. It just puts counters on my green creatures when I have extra mana. That seems fine. There. I think this is really good, chat. Honestly, this seems like a solid deck. Are you planning on playing this now? No. Wednesday I'll play it. But yeah, this is. I'm actually really happy with this. Like, yeah. I don't know. This seems solid. Like, Verazol is going to be copying. We have like 24 kicker spells that Verazol can copy. Obviously, not all of them do we want to actually copy with Verazol. Like, some of them are just kind of weak, but some of them are going to be pretty solid. And we have a lot of removal. We have Scavenging Goose to get graveyards. We also have Scavenger Grounds to get graveyards. We have a lot of removal, specifically a lot of disenchant effects. We got like Acidic Slimes, and we got Mold Shambler and whatnot. We got Beast Within, but we also got like Board Wipes. We got Fade Away. We got Whelming Wave. We can actually kill creatures too. I've added Inscription of Abundance, which can fight, and I've also added what was the other one? Kalni Ambush, which can also fight. We can fill Verazol with tons of counters, with cards like Strength of Tajuru to really go crazy. We have token generators with like Roost of Drakes and Saproling Infestation. I don't know. This deck looks solid. It's like very dirtly, but I think it's solid. Yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy with it. Looks like it has a lot of interaction and it just beats down very slowly but surely. All right. Yeah. We can I'll show you how I can man, I don't want to build Hallar now. If you want to build Hallar, then I'm keen to stick around. All right. How about this, chat? We have a time limit, okay? I'm going to give myself a time limit of 50 minutes. We are going to build Hallar in 50 minutes, or we're not building Hallar, okay? Because then I need to go to bed. So that is the deck list. Oh, man. But then I have to redo all these sections. No. No, I'm sorry, chat. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. We're gonna be good to end it over here. Yeah. Sorry. I went through the entire deck. We built the deck from scratch, and it took a little bit longer than I intended. But yeah, we finally got there. We built a $50 Hallar Verazol list. We didn't build also Hallar, but maybe that'll be for another time. I will also have that deck list done for the budget commander. That will be going up probably Wednesday. So you're going to get this list and you're going to get the Hallar list in the article/video. So you can check that out there. But for now, we're going to be calling it. So just again, folks, the way I did it, I'm sorry for the bright screen. The easy way is to just go to EDH Rec and click on Average Deck. The slightly better way is to Google search your commander and then type deck list, and you'll find some deck lists. And then the Tomer Crazy method that's super in depth is you make a list for each section, right? You make a list for every single section. So lands, ramp, generic stuff, +1/+1 counters, recursion, card draw, removal, and then I go through my own budget commander articles. I think they're good resources for anybody though. I just find like a commander deck that um, follows the same colors. So I looked for a Simic deck that was relatively recent, found a Rexmithes, and I just like filled these lists out with a bunch of generic cards that fit the theme. And then I went to Scryfall, and I used Scryfall to find cards that were fitting exactly what Verazol was doing. In this case, it was kicker cards, and it was +1/+1 counter cards. So I looked up every single card that fit that specific theme. So I went to my older articles for the good stuff cards, and I went to Scryfall for the specific thematic synergy cards. After all of that, we check EDH Rec. We go to EDH Rec and we see if there's anything we missed. And that's how I found Twinning Staff, for example. I did not find Twinning Staff on my own. I used EDH Rec to find Twinning Staff. And that was it. And then, after we've done every single section like this individually, we have a checklist to tell us how many slots we need for every single section of the deck. And once we've had that checklist, we fill out our deck. And this is the easy part, right? Like, once you have the checklist, you have all the card options, you fill it, and it's really easy to build a budget deck when you do all the hard work ahead of time. So that's it, everyone. That's the tutorial. Hope that was good enough. My eyes. Can we do a Yashar Flicker Landfall deck another time? Tomer, is there a way I could get advice on a deck, like send you a list and give me tips? You can. You can send me an email. I will check on it, but like it will be like on the weekend or something. So as long as you don't mind waiting a bit. And yeah. Was that Ozolith and Simic Ascendancy just playing? I mean, you could put Simic Ascendancy in the deck. It fits even in the deck list. Like it would actually fit the budget. Ozolith would be a little bit more expensive, but you could also finagle that around. Especially if you just like cut Rite of Replication, you can add it instead. But I really like Rite of Replication. Usually if you cast Rite of Replication, you win the game. That's kind of how the card goes. Whew. Alrighty, folks. That was it. That was the bonus stream. I'm going to be back Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, either playing the Verazol deck or the Hallar deck. You all will get to choose when I do the stream. I stream every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, here on YouTube. That is going to be my weekly thing. This Monday was just a one-off, one-shot thingy where we just had some fun building a deck from scratch. It's not going to be the norm going forward, though. Wednesdays is going to be the day that we're going to be streaming weekly. So thank you, everyone, for joining on this impromptu stream. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Thank you for kind of helping me build a deck, which is going to be cutting down all my work on Wednesday. So that'll be great. And yeah, for now, folks, I'm going to go to bed. Good night, everybody.